Hi friends, Dr. Jim Daly here from Astronomy for Change. We've been doing a series of videos recently trying to cover principal areas of interest in the sky for the season, the summer sky. Now we're already past the midpoint in August and fall will be upon us soon. As we open up this evening's session, we note the sky towards the south. We have Scorpio here, Sagittarius, and the sun is just setting. It's just the beginning of twilight now. But I want to show you basically how we know that one season is starting to fade and the next is starting to come into view when the constellations principal to that season, or the constellations associated with the season in question, in this case the summer, right, are visible on the meridian right here. The meridian, if we remember, is the imaginary line that connects the southern horizon with the northern horizon, right? So if we're looking at constellations that are already placed on the meridian just at twilight, we know we don't have much time left to look at those constellations and any other targets of interest, objects of interest that would be in them, right? So what I'd like to do in this video, it's not going to be, we're going to have a moderately long video. It's going to be no more than 10 minutes. I want to just go over with you a few objects that I alluded to previously, but I don't think I ever really covered in detail. So let's remove the meridian for now. Okay, I'm going to take away the atmosphere because the sun is still in the sky and we're not quite into beyond twilight yet. So let's take away the atmosphere. Okay, and I want to zoom in on two beautiful open clusters. Now, we talked a lot about various kinds of star clusters. A lot of them were globular star clusters. Globular star cluster, as we said previously, is an agglomerated mass of about 100,000 or more stars, all bound together by gravity. Some of those stars dating back to the origins of the universe. What we haven't talked about a lot is what we call a galactic star cluster, or open star clusters. We've talked about in a previous video recently of M11, what we call the wild duck cluster. It's an open star cluster. Well, there are two beautiful such clusters in Scorpio. M6, and this here's 6, right there. Let's zoom in that, and this is it's a lovely cluster to look at with a pair of binoculars or even a wide field telescope. Right here, this here's 6, otherwise known as the butterfly cluster, or the splendor of the heavens. It's beautiful. It's right above the tip of the scorpion, right here. This is Scorpio's tip, the tip of his stinger, right here. Okay, this is the scorpion right here. Let's turn on the constellation so you can see the shape more readily. That's Scorpio, the scorpion. Okay, and this cluster is right above the stinger of the scorpion. The next cluster I want to point out, which is, if you have a pair of binoculars, it would be probably, this next cluster would probably be in the field of view of M6, and that would be M7. Okay, let's zoom in on that one. Another beauty right here. Right, here's M6. And this is M7, or Ptolemy's cluster. Right, Ptolemy's cluster. First seen by the Greek scientist and mathematician Ptolemy. Right, and those are very close, both of them, M6 and M7, are very close to the tip of the scorpion. So to review quickly, that was M7, M6, it's right there. You can see they're both right here. So here's M6, and just to the southwest, I beg your pardon, to the southeast, is M7 right here. So these two are two beautiful clusters. Now I mention these now because as the night wears on, right now it's just about 8:30, right? And Scorpio is right on the meridian. These clusters are right on the meridian here. Look due south, the meridian would be a line connecting the south with the north. And if we wait even 1 or 2 hours longer, they're going to be over here towards the southwest, and they're going to start setting soon. So we want to take a look at them now. Even though, also another thing I should point out, the moon is approaching third quarter in the next 2 days or so, which right now would be a good time. At this point of the evening would be a good time to go out and observe before the moon rises. As we know, the moon will lighten the sky up considerably. Even the third quarter moon would be quite bright, and a lot of the subtle detail and beauty of these objects might be lost. So we want to take a look at the sky when there's no moon to look at these objects, right? Even with a pair of binoculars. Okay, two other clusters that are going to be setting soon. We actually mentioned one of them in the previous video. Okay, if we look at over here to the north, now we're looking way away from Scorpio, looking towards the northwest. Here's the Big Dipper, right here. Very familiar sight in the northern sky, in the northern hemisphere. You can see it. Okay, it's part of the constellation of Ursa Major. Okay, the larger bear, seen right there. Okay, we're using that as a guidepost to find Arcturus. We arc to Arcturus, and very close to Arcturus is Messier 3, another globular cluster. Take a look right here. We'll zoom in on that. This is another globular cluster right here. Now, here's a telescopic view of Messier 3 that I acquired a number of years ago with my 20 centimeter astrograph, 8-inch telescope right here. And we can fade that out, return to the animation of Stellarium, and that's where you would find it. Now, this view here is what you would see through a telescope. A binocular view of this would, you would see these stars, these bright stars. Now, keep in mind, you take a look at these stars here, these pinpoints of light right here. And then we go back here, we look at Arcturus. So now out here, we look at Arcturus, just to the south, right here. Arcturus is a star such as these. This object is over 20,000 light years away, and it's required to see this view is through a telescope, a fairly good amateur telescope, amateur-grade, amateur-sized telescope. Anything over half a meter is really, in the observatory class size range, amateur astronomers really don't use or have access to telescopes of that size for various reasons. Practicality, for one, to house it and store it and to use it. They're quite massive and quite, if you don't have the proper mounting setup, the controls on the telescope, it's almost impossible to use. So a telescope between the 15 to 30 centimeter range, or the 6 to 12 inch size telescope, is generally what amateur astronomers use. Well, this is a view through an 8-inch telescope, or a 20 centimeter telescope. And these bright stars here, these pinpoints of light rather, are stars very much like the star Arcturus, which is only 40 light years away. Okay, 37 light years right here. Okay, so you can get a sense of the scales, distances, and the power of some of these stars just by looking at that. This is an object lesson in the power in the stellar luminosity and the output of stars. Now, this star is very, very similar to our sun in mass, as we've said many times before. It is, however, much more evolved than the sun. It's already consumed all of its hydrogen internally, and now it's running on helium, and is thus swollen to become a red giant star, and is 40 light years away. Further north here, okay, well, here's a beautiful constellation here while I'm going up this way, is Corona Borealis right here, the northern crown. Let's turn on the constellations. Here, it's Corona Borealis, or the northern crown. Right there, just to the east rather, of Bootes the Herdsman, which contains Arcturus. Now, I also should mention that Messier 3 is also located at Bootes, No, I beg your pardon. M3 is in the constellation of Canes and Venatici, or the hunting dogs. Bring up M3 again. Here, the constellations. Canes Venatici is a very small constellation composed of just a couple of stars right here, and they're depicted as hunting dogs in the sky, and that's where Messier 3 is. It's not in Bootes, but very close. It's almost at the border with Bootes, but it's technically in Canes Venatici. Okay, we'll put it back so we see where it is. There it is, right there. We'll zoom in on it. Okay. Now, what I want to compare it to, and they're both within the same field of view, or the naked eye view, I should say, is the other globular cluster, the famous cluster that we've talked often about, and that's in Messier 13, right up here in Hercules. Here's Hercules. Here's the keystone of Hercules. Okay, let's turn the constellations back on quickly. Right here, we're going to zoom in on Hercules and pick up Messier 13. Look at this right here. Use the finder, use the little center properly. Messier 13. Right there. Zoom in on it. Okay, going back to our telescopic view. Okay, we zoom back out, get a sense of how big that is when you want to look at it with the telescope or a pair of binoculars, only to find it. Okay, this is where it is. So here's our northwestern sky. This is 9th. This is 8:30 now, right? So Arcturus and Bootes and M3 are beginning to head towards the west. We want to take a look at that over the next 2 or 3 weeks before it actually gets too far down. And then when you're observing an object close to the horizon, it doesn't. There are certain aspects of the atmosphere that tend to degrade the image as we look through a thicker and thicker or deeper section of the atmosphere, and that occurs closer to the horizon. Okay. So we had M13. We want to go back and take a look at that. That was M3. We have M13. Go back here, the stellarium. Zoom in on it. That's the binocular view, and that's the telescope view. This image was also obtained with my 20 centimeter 8-inch astrograph. All right. Now, I beg your pardon. This was with a 15 centimeter astrograph. This image here, the next one, was obtained with my 20 centimeter astrograph right here. Zoom in on it. Okay. And finally, we're going to segue to an image produced with the great Hubble telescope, the Hubble Space Telescope right here. Now, because of the Hubble telescope's resolving power, it's 2.4 meters in diameter. You see how long the image takes to load there. Okay. We're looking deep into the core of Messier 13. A lot of these stars here, these bright stars here, these bright orange red stars, are stars like Arcturus. And that was in 13. Stars like Arcturus, which is right here. Okay. I wanted to point these out before a lot of these are lost in the changing of the season, so to speak. As the seasons change over the days go by and the weeks pass, we'll be into September, and a lot of these objects will be too close to the western horizon, or too far south, or too close to either horizon, southwest or the west, and they'll be not lost from view, but the optimum viewing conditions still exist now to see them. That was Messier 6, Messier 7, Messier 3, and Messier 13. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed this quick video. If you like it, please do like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget that the subscription to our public website does not automatically provide a subscription to you to our YouTube channel, which is a separate subscription you have to do through YouTube. Okay? As always, membership in Astronomy for Change is free, and we look forward to sharing and producing more videos and sharing them with you such that you increase your appreciation and love for the night sky. Okay, until next time, everybody, please keep looking up.